Children, today we will know something about space. It is very interesting. The universe is everything we can touch, feel, sense, measure, or detect. It includes living things, planets, stars, galaxies, dust clouds, light, and even time. Before the birth of universe, time, space, and matter did not exist. No one knows the exact size of the universe because we cannot see the edge. It, if there is one, all we do know is that a visible universe is at least 93 billion light years across. A light year is the distance light travels in 1 year, about 9 trillion kilometers. The universe has been expanding outward at a very high speed. So the area of space we now see in billions of times bigger than it was when the universe was very young. Now this is the gravitational force of the earth. Now the force which the earth pulls everything towards itself is called the gravitational force. We all are standing because of the gravitational force. As we go away from the earth, the gravitational force become less. Now this is the way it is showing the gravitational force. Now what is space? Where the gravitational force of the earth cannot reach. In space, no one can hear your scream. Outer space began about 100 kilometers above the earth with no air, no scattered sunlight, and produces a blue sky. Space appears as a black blanket dotted with stars, thinly spread gas and dust. Many forms of radiation are that are dangerous to astronauts. High energy X-ray, gamma rays, and cosmic rays particles traveling close to the speed of light arrives from distant star system. What is cosmic distance? Space is huge. It is so immense that it is very difficult to imagine the distance involved. If astronomers used to describe this distance, would have to use very big number. Therefore, to simplify things and to make the numbers smaller and easier to handle, different measurements are used. The distance between the Earth and the Sun is about 150 million kilometers. This is a big number, and so astronauts use the astronomical unit to describe the distance as 1 astronomical unit. The distance between the Earth and the Sun, now Proxima Centauri, is a star beyond our solar system. It is about 38 million kilometers away. Now, it is such a long way far away that if a spacecraft traveled to this star, it could take around 75,000 years to get there. So now how we say? We say Proxima Centauri is a distance of roughly 265,000 astronomical unit. Now this is the way the light travels. The light travels as a wave. Light can travel through a vacuum, an empty place, a completely airless space. Light is the fastest thing we know. Through space, light can travel at a speed of nearly 3 lakh kilometers per second. Now, a light year is the distance. Just now we came to know the light can travel in 1 year. To travel this distance to next closest star of solar system, light takes around 4.2 years. Therefore, Astronomers say that Proxima Centauri is 4.2 light years away. Most astronomers believe in universe in a Big Bang about 14 million years ago. The Big Bang is how astronomers explain the way the universe began. It is the idea that the universe began as just a single point, then expanded and stretched to grow as large as it is right now. And it could be still stretching. Everything we can see in our universe today, star, planet, comets, asteroids, they weren't there at the beginning. Where did they come from? When the universe began, it was just hot, tiny particles mixed with light and energy. It was nothing like what we see now. As everything expanded and took up more space, later it cooled down. The tiny particles grouped together, they formed atoms. Then those atoms grouped together over a lot of time. Atoms came together to form stars and galaxies. The universe contains billions of galaxies, each containing millions and billions of stars. The galaxies are also moving further apart. Now, finally, about 100 million years ago, the Big Bang, the gas became hot and dense enough for the first star to form. The new stars were being born at a rate of 10 times higher than the present day's universe. Large cluster of stars soon became the first galaxy. Now, collisions were common. Like two flames moving towards each other, they merged into bigger galaxies. Our Milky Way galaxy came together in this way. The gravitational pull of this region is also great, that nothing can escape, not even light. That is what? That is black hole. Now, black holes are the strangest object of the universe. The black hole comes in many different sizes. Most galaxies, including the Milky Way, have supermassive black holes in their centers. Now, the mystery of the dark universe, another idea is that life, or at least the chemical building blocks, came from space. Many comets were crashing into the earth early in the history. Comets are rich in carbon-based chemicals from which life could have started. Now, this is the asteroid which struck the earth in 2013. Now, an asteroid is a small rocky object that orbits the sun. Asteroids are smaller than a planet, but they are larger than a pebble-sized object we call meteoroids. A small piece of an asteroid or comet burn up, entering Earth's atmosphere, creating a streak of light in the sky. Now, sometimes one asteroid can smash into another. This causes small pieces of asteroid to break off. Those pieces are called meteoroids. Now, meteoroids can also come from comets. Sometimes meteoroids don't vaporize completely in the atmosphere. In fact, sometimes they survive their trip through Earth's atmosphere and land on the Earth's surface. When they land on Earth, they are called meteoroids. Here we can see a small part, and then it has come on the Earth. Now, as studies of ancient rock have shown that life began on Earth about 3,800 million years ago. The young Earth was a water world with small area of dry land. Many scientists think that life began in the lakes and oceans. Energy may also have come from hot springs on the seabed, known as black smokers. Now, this is a black smoker that is inside the earth. You know, it is very hot. So, sometime when the earth crust is very weak, then the heat started moving from the seabed. Can you see from here the red one it is showing? And this is black in color. So, it is known as black smoker, the heat coming from inside the earth. Now, what is gravity? That NASA reals life images from the space. From the space, they have taken many pictures of the Earth. You can see here. These are also the pictures taken from the space. Now, the fresh water, how it is seen from the space. Now, what is space station? Now, we can see International Space Station sends into the stratosphere. This is the Chinese space station. Now, the International Space Station is a large spacecraft. It orbits around the Earth. It is also a science lab. Many countries work together to build it and use it. It has science lab from United States, Russia, Japan, and Europe. Here, crew members do research which research could not be done on Earth. The space stations orbit approximately 250 miles above Earth. The space station is a home in orbit. People have lived in space every day since the year 2000. Scientists study what happens to people when they live in space. And NASA has a plan to send humans deeper into the space than ever before. The space station is one of the first steps. The space station, it has bathroom, bedrooms, and a gym. 6 people are able to live there. It weighs almost 1,000,000 pounds. It is big enough to cover a football field, including the end zone. On the side of the space station are solar rays. They collect energy from the sun and turn sunlight into electricity. Robot arms are attached outside. They can move astronauts around outside and control the experiments. Airlock on the space station are like doors. Astronauts use them to go outside on spacewalk. Dock ports are like doors. It is used for visiting spacecraft to connect to the other spacecraft, those who bring for them food and other supplies that enter the station through the dock ports. Now, this is the scientists who are doing the research inside the space station. Now, spacewalk, how the astronauts are moving away from the spacecraft. Now, you can see something like a dust, or you may think it is a star, but it is not a star. In the past 60 years, thousands of tons of junk has accumulated around the Earth, including old rocket parts. About 3,500 different satellites and an estimated 750,000 smaller fragments, some from collision between large bits of junk. The fragments are typically circulating with a velocity of 20,000 km per hour. Unless a clear-up operation is mounted, the chances of collision will escalate as thousands times more satellites are put into orbit. The chaser clean space rock will be launched into the target orbit where it will track down Vespa, grab it using a quarter of robotic arms and drag it out of orbit. With Vespa and the chaser both burning up in the atmosphere on the way down to Earth. Now, this is the children which you are seeing here, all small, small. As I told, it's not a star, it is a dust. Now, these had been created by the satellites which we have sent up, and they have crashed, and each one part is crashing to each other, and they have created there a big mess. Now, the from United States and from the Europe Space Agency, they want to send Chaser and Vespa, two things in the space to clean up this. They will be having long arms and they will burn these things and clean the space around the earth. Let's know some important facts. Near the surface of the earth, gravity increases with height such that minor extrapolation would give zero gravity at a height of 1.5 of the earth's radius. That means as we are going up, what is happening? The gravity is decreasing. The sensation of weightless of zero gravity happens when the effects of gravity are not felt. In case of the earth, the force of gravity is greatest on its surface and gradually decreases as you move away. Now, Mount Nevado in Peru has the lowest gravitational escalation, while the highest is at the surface of the Arctic Ocean. Now, magnetic field, some real facts. It is a small route which stretches about 30 kilometers from Leh towards the Kargil, and it is known as magnetic hill of Ladakh. On this special route of the Srinagar highway, the road ahead going uphill. If you turn off the engine and keep your vehicle in neutral, then on its own it will start moving slowly and go up to 20 kilometers per hour. There is a magnetic force that pulls the car uphill. Even the aircraft passing over this region increases their altitude to avoid magnetic interference. The second one, this place was discovered in 1939 by a group of surveyors and was opened to the public in 1940. The magnetic field here is seen only in 150 square feet of the circular area, which is almost called the mystery spot, such as flowing of water in the upward direction, deflection of magnetic compass at different angles, changes in the size of people and things. At this place, you can also stand at an angle without falling down. You can see in the picture. Let's dream big. Think of becoming an astronaut. How fun it will be moving in the sky. All of you know about them. Rakesh Sharma, Kalpana Chawla, Sunita Williams. Now, children, go to school library and find about them and write at least 6 to 7 sentences about them in your classwork copy. Become a scientist for a day. Take up the challenge in this class of fifth. Think, if you are a scientist, examine a real spacecraft images and then think, oh, where can I go if I make a spacecraft? And enjoy, you can also enjoy the video on Earth. I have given you a link. Now, how can you make a spacecraft? What all things are there in the spacecraft? What are the devices? It containers, orientation finder, communication device, scientific instrument, power sources. All these things are attached in the spacecraft. Now make your own satellite. You can have all the waste materials at home, think it, put the cover on it, paint it, and make this satellite. Oh, so you have already become a scientist. Very good. And you are searching now all the waste materials of your house and you are trying to make one of them. Now, these are the some real satellites which are there in the space. Now, find out about them from the Google. Thank you, children.